Hi, I'm Chandler Klebs, and I'm here again with another video talking about how the laws of nature make free will impossible. And I think I've covered most of the material in the first two videos of what I wanted to say about this topic. And I may have gotten a little bit off topic in some of my videos going off on rants about why people defend and promote their religious or political or scientific beliefs. And that's what I think you got to understand, because basically our brains are subject to certain laws. I may not understand these laws because I'm not a scientist and I'm not a trained psychologist, but I think that it's important that any message that's promoted that's going to have any success has to be understood by the public. It has to be understood by everyday people. Because if you're trying to teach something that requires years of study in biology or psychology or physics, well, the problem is that only a small percentage of people, a few scientists in scattered locations around the world, might understand what you're saying. Excuse me. See, I'm sick, and so the problem is when I have this phlegm buildup in my throat, I can't talk right. So here's the deal. That's another example of how I'm not in control. And in the past, I used to just stop and record videos over again every time I had an interruption or something go wrong. But now I don't have time for that. I'm just going to, when things go wrong, I'm going to use this as an example that I am not in control. That's just it. In fact, that totally broke my train of thought. I was going to say something, and then I had to cough up my phlegm, and and so now I forgot what I was going to say. And so, okay, I know this is going to sound stupid, but basically, nobody chooses to be sick. Nobody chooses to have allergies. I'm not sure which of those my problem is right now. But, yeah, people, like, anyone who says that people choose to be depressed, or they choose to be sick, or they choose to have allergies, or that they choose their sexual orientation, it's like, wait a minute. No, no, no. Because here's the deal. Now, as a hard determinist personally, I would say, well, choice, as most people understand, is a complete illusion. Nobody really chooses to be happy or sad. They don't choose to be sick or well. Choice is a true illusion. But even if we grant compatibilist choice and say that when someone does what they want, they're making a choice, that means that in any instance where someone does something that they don't want to do, that they're choosing to do what they don't want to do. And I think a lot of people can see how that doesn't make very much sense. So, okay, I talked before about how people seek pleasure and avoid pain. So here's the question. Why would somebody choose to be depressed when that makes them depressed? It's unpleasant. Why would someone choose to feel bad? No, that's just it. I don't think anyone does. There's going to be some cause for why they feel that way. And in a sense, you could say that this is part of the laws of nature, which kind of everything is. The way reality works is a law of nature. And so that's the important thing, is that we all want to be happy, right? We want to be happy. We want to feel good, So given that we want to feel happy, and I think a lot of us, we want to get along with people. We want to have friends. We want to be accepted in society. We want to live a happy, peaceful life. I think most people want that. And yet, there's evidence that we are not able to achieve this as much as we would like. Because in spite of our best efforts, we have interesting dilemmas. We have people who, for example, the obesity thing. This is a powerful example, and I don't know for sure if this is on topic with the laws of nature thing or not, but it's important and I've got to say it. Have no choice. Okay, given that it's very uncomfortable for people to be obese, it's very uncomfortable for people to be really fat, because for one thing, it causes like diabetes and heart attack and strokes and stuff like that, and that kills people and causes them a lot of pain. So who would choose to be fat? Okay. Second of all, there's the fact that people treat fat people bad. They judge them and like, oh, you stupid gluttonous person, you chose to overeat and now you're fat and I blame you and I'm better than you because I'm skinny. You know, I mean, come on, people treat fat people like that. What person would want, even choose in the sense of wanting, doing what they want, compatibilist choice, not free will? That's still not free will. Nobody, even unfreely choose, like, why would they choose to be fat and then have other people blame them and make fun of them? Not to mention all the physical pain it causes them to be overweight like that. Who would choose that? Nobody. So why are so many people fat? Well, I think there are a lot of reasons, and I don't want to get into all of it. I mean, I've talked about it, and I'm not the dietitian or expert in how the science of metabolism and skinniness and obesity works. I'm not an expert in that, so I want to get back to explaining a little bit about the laws of nature. But the point is, I think people, they can't choose to do what doesn't occur to them. That's just it. Is that in order for a person to even choose something in an everyday understanding of choice, something else has to make their brain think of that. Something has to make their brain think of doing that thing. Are you free to do that which does not occur to you to do? And that's the very important point. And I think it's worth mentioning that our decision process is a brain thing, you know. The chemicals in our brain, the matter in our brain, and the memories, none of which we choose. We don't choose what chemicals are in our brain. And if the chemicals are wrong, people can get depressed or have some kind of disorder, you know, some kind of mental illness that results in imbalanced chemicals. And so that's one example. It's like, if something's wrong with the brain, if there's brain damage from some accident or illness, then that person their brain's damaged and they can't do things right. Alzheimer's is a good example of this, where a person's losing their memory and their brain's not working right. So here's the deal. Now I'll make the case, because I'm a materialist, I'm going to make the case that the brain, as well as the rest of the body, it's a physical object, okay? It's matter. It's all this weird chemicals and blood and skin and muscles, all these materials. And so if something happens to it that damages it, it alters the function of it. And this is important to understand, that these things change all the time. And so when someone speaks to you, even when someone says something to you, they're saying something. The sound goes in your ears and is processed by your brain in some way. And so what your brain understands may or may not match up with what the person actually said. We may not even remember what the person actually said. But this is important to understand, is that I think a lot of people would agree that the brain is a mechanical deterministic system. And so a lot of people seek refuge in supernatural explanations or dualist notions that, oh, well, decision making happens in the mind, which is not the brain. It's part of the spirit or soul of a person. And so the decisions are made supernaturally and they have nothing to do with the brain. Which, of course, would have to explain why people who are drunk make bad decisions. I mean, like, Why would drugs and alcohol affect your decisions if your decisions were made by something that wasn't the brain or the physical body? That's a whole other topic, and sorry to get too distracted, but see, this is just it. I'll say one thing, and I didn't even know what I was going to say before this video started, but I'll say something, and then that leads to another thought. I'm like, I heard myself say something, and I'm like, oh, well, I have questions about that, and then I get totally off track about what I was going to be talking about. So, I mean, if anything, this video series has shown that I have no control over what I'm talking about, and I don't even know what I'm going to be saying. Okay, so yeah, this is this is a little bit entertaining, but in any case, it's the laws of nature. There's the way the world works. There's the way my brain works, and I didn't choose it. And I'll just say, if there was a spiritual or supernatural realm, that would be part of nature. That would be a part of reality. If that was real, it'd be part of reality. And there would be spiritual or metaphysical laws of nature too. So somebody doesn't need to be a materialist, someone who believes all of reality is physical. Someone could still believe in the supernatural, but there would still be some kind of laws that govern the supernatural world. There would still be causality within that would still prohibit a free choice, because a free choice, it can't be causal, and it can't be acausal either. So no matter what the laws of nature are, whether physical or spiritual, they cannot grant you a free will. And I'm running out of time, and there'll be more episodes of exploring the illusion of free will. But I hope these past few episodes I've explained a few things. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.